Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. Well, it's Monday, so it's time to talk about last Friday's Supreme Court conference of both Snope v. Brown and Ocean State Tactical v. Rhode Island. These are two extremely important cases that we have been waiting on now for quite a while. As a matter of fact, they had their first conference back in December. So we need to talk about what happened at the last conference and the news that we got updated with just this morning. So let's get to it. Now, real quick before we get started, this channel is proud to be sponsored by Attorneys on Retainer. If you're somebody who carries to defend yourself or your loved ones, you need to check out Attorneys on Retainer. It's like having an attorney in your back pocket at all times. You give the number on the card a call, you speak to an actual attorney, which gives you instant attorney-client privilege, and they will be there to defend you the entire way through. It's absolutely priceless to have in your wallet. If you want more information, you can check that out down below. With that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right into it and talk about Snope and Ocean State, since this is like the 9th or 10th time that we have had to talk about this. Both of these cases were petitioned to the Supreme Court back in August. Both of these cases got their first conference back in December. That's where all the Supreme Court justices get together and determine what cases they're going to take, what cases they're going to deny, and so forth. And that happens on a Friday. We find out the next Monday whether or not they've accepted that case, whether they denied it, or maybe they reschedule it or they reconference it, right? Well, we have been waiting again, like I said, since December. This is, I believe, the 7th time that it has been in conference, and one time that it was actually rescheduled for weeks. So we have been waiting for quite a while, and I thought for sure that this was going to be the time that the Supreme Court finally stepped up and took one of these two cases. And guess what? They didn't. It got reconferenced yet again for next Friday, March the 7th. Now, what's really interesting here is that even the scholars are confused about what's going on now. Nobody knows what to predict. Everybody's kind of up in the air about it. I mean, you have Ocean State, which is an interlocutory case, which is a type of case that the Supreme Court typically doesn't take. But why would they draw it out for, several months just to deny it later on down the road? Then you have Snope, which is absolutely ripe for the Supreme Court. It is a perfect case for them to take to finally put this whole thing to rest, and they're still sitting on it. Again, we're talking about 7 relists, and we're talking about a reschedule that was mixed in there as well that put it behind a couple weeks. We're talking about a case that could have potentially been heard this year and now has been pushed off to where we wouldn't get an answer on it until next year. I mean, what is the reason they are sitting on these? Nobody knows. And unless you're in that conference room on that Friday as a Supreme Court justice, you don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows either, unless something gets leaked. But nothing's gotten leaked up until this point. For some reason, they are just dragging their feet on these two cases, which I really don't understand. Now, my thoughts on this, based on just my opinion alone, is that I still think they are going to take Snope. And the reason that I say that is because why would you take a case like that, a case that is absolutely perfect for you to take, and push it out this far, conference it and reschedule it, then conference it again, just to then deny it months down the road? It really doesn't make any sense to me. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to deny it down the road. They still could. But I feel like they've had their chance to deny it multiple times. For instance, today, they only accepted one case. So out of all of the cases that were before them during the last conference, and there was dozens upon dozens, only one of them got accepted. Every other case that they conferenced last Friday got denied. The Friday prior to that, there was hundreds of cases that got denied. So each week there's an opportunity to deny these cases if they wanted to. Again, they take very few, they deny a vast majority, and they had their chance to deny these cases. So for me, the fact that they're pushing them off again to the next week, another conference, still gives me hope that these cases have a chance of surviving. I'm not sure about Ocean State, just given the fact that, there's still a lot going on with that case. But Snope is perfect. It's done. It's already been heard by the the appellate court, and the appellate court screwed everything up. They said that they're not protected by the Constitution, which we all know is completely wrong, and the Supreme Court has got to do something to fix this. They cannot simply let this slide. Now, I understand people are talking about, circuit splits. We need circuit splits so that there's some type of, argument between the appellate courts on what's right and what's wrong that needs to be answered by the Supreme Court. We don't really have anything major like that as of right now, but it's still an unconstitutional infringement that needs to be corrected. If it was the government coming to the Supreme Court and they said, hey, we want you to take a look at this right away, they would have it done in a matter of weeks. But when it comes to our rights, for some reason, they're just letting us sit on it even longer. So again, next Friday, it's going to be conference, March 7th, and then we'll find out maybe that night, possibly, or at least Monday, what they're going to do again. And hopefully this is it. Hopefully this is the end of it. I'd like to know what you guys are betting on. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think is going to happen, because, again, without a crystal ball, you just can't know for sure, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'd really appreciate it. It helps us get our message out there. And thumbs ups are always appreciated. So thanks again, you guys. Have a good one.